Hello everyone, welcome to Vishesh Educational Videos. In this video, I am explaining about software crisis, and also along with software crisis, I am explaining about need for software engineering. If you are not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel and don't forget to like and share the video with your friends. So let me begin the explanation of software crisis and need for software engineering. In the first part, I will explain what is the software crisis actually. And in the second part, I will explain the need for software engineering. Yes, software crisis is a term used in the early days of computing science for the difficulty of writing useful and efficient computer programs in the required time. So software crisis, this term is not, nowadays we are not using this term because today hardware, software, whatever the hardware you are using, whatever the softwares we are using, they are all they are advanced. Software crisis is not it's not a problem now. Software crisis was used in the early 1960s, in the early 1970s. Why? Because at that time the hardware was not advanced, or whatever the software, whatever the OSs we are using, those are not advanced. Obviously, using that limited resources, using that limited hardware, using that limited software to develop a useful and efficient computer program is not an easy job. Getting, guys? Software crisis means due to the advancements, less advancements, due to the less advancements in hardware, due to the less advancements in software, right? We were not in a position to develop a good softwares or good programs. Getting, guys? You can ask a question because early days in 1960s, 1970s, software was a new domain. And hardware, if I say hardware RAM will be like 512 MB. RAM hardware will be like 512 MB. Space will be like 30 GB or 40 GB. So obviously, with this limited type of configurations, so it is difficult for you to develop the good programs. That's why software crisis happens, right? The software crisis was due to the rapid increase in computer power and the complexity of the problems that could be tackled. Why a crisis happened? Why a crisis happened means our hardware was not advanced, our software was not advanced, right? We can't develop a good program. That is one problem. Along with that, after 1980s, after 1990s, sudden increase in the computation power. That means hardware begin to develop, begin to advance. Software also began to advance. At that time, what happens? You can't maintain time, or you can't maintain constraints properly. That's why software crisis happens. So we'll see that now. For example, with the increase in the complexity of the software, many software problems arise because existing methods were neither sufficient nor up to the mark. So understanding, guys? So earlier days, whatever the methods are there to develop the software, they were not standard. They were not good at all. So once the hardware began to advance, customers started for asking different kinds of softwares. Once the customer start asking for different kinds of software, you will face the difficulty, you will face the crisis. Why? You can ask me a question. When the customer asks for the software, you can develop it, right? Yes. To develop that software, right, we don't have the proper methods because our existing methods are not in a good condition. That's why it leads to software crisis. I can't develop a good product using our existing methods. Even if I develop the software with the existing methods, it's not up to the mark. It is not up to the mark. Getting, guys? And also, software crisis, why it's happened means it always linked to the overall complexity. If a crisis is happening means it's purely related to the hardware also, and it's purely related to the existing methods of development process also. Getting, guys? So why we are suffering from crisis at that time? Nowadays it's not. It's a outdated word. But in early 1960s, in early 1970s, and even today we may suffer from little crisis. Little crisis. Today we have a lot of advancements in hardware and software, and also the whatever the methods today we are using, those are all having very high quality. Obviously, we may not suffer from the crisis, but earlier days it was not a case, right? Our methods were not that up to the mark, right? Our hardware is not advanced that time. Software also, whatever the platform, whatever the OS we were using DOS operating system at that time in 1970s, in 1980s. Using that, can't develop a software. That's why, right? It may lead to the software crisis. Even today, little bit of crisis may happen because again you may ask a question, why sir? Even today, why software crisis may happen means customer may come across a very advanced software. That's why our existing to even today our existing development techniques may not sufficient. Even after such advancements also, our existing systems, whatever the existing development strategies are there, they may not sufficient to develop that type of software. User may come across that type of software suddenly. If they have the requirement, they can come across that type of softwares. For example, earlier Amazon was not the right, not the choice for the users to purchase goods. Now Amazon is a must for so many users. Understanding, guys? In early 1990s, if I say Amazon, people would have laughed. Is it possible? But today, you can see. Getting, guys? So day by day, the user requirements may change. So the existing methods may become outdated. That's why software crisis is still a problem. Still, even today, software crisis may happen. Getting, guys? So see, what are the causes? Here we pointed out some causes for the software crisis. So first cause may be the projects running over budget. Obviously, projects may run over budget. This may lead to the crisis, right? So first of all, while developing the software, you may fix the cost. That cost may be right not enough. Lastly, right? That's why project running over budget. This is one thing. Projects running over time. Again, time is also a problem. Software was very inefficient. You developed the software, but it's inefficient means definitely it may lead to the software crisis. Software was of low quality. Software often did not meet requirements. See, these are all the reasons that may lead to the software crisis. Projects were unmanageable and code difficult to maintain. Software was never delivered. See, these are the several ways, right, that may lead to the software crisis. Yes, project, everything is there today. Advancement is there. Advancement in hardware, advancement in software. Also good methods. What about the budget? What about the time? Even after all these things, we may come across budget projects running over time, projects running over budget. So this may lead to the crisis. This may lead to the problems. Getting, guys? So these are the reasons, right? So now, what is the need for software engineering? What is the need for software engineering? The need for software engineering arises because of a higher rate of change in user requirement and environment on which the software is working. So what happened means, day by day, users started to tell about new softwares. Customers started to tell their new requirements. Obviously, when the requirement changes, our methodology also has to change. I already told you, software development is not a individual programming. You have to develop a professional standards. That's why you have to develop a professional standards, because today software is not a simple thing. User requirements are changing. That's why we need a engineering, software engineering. It's not a simple process. We need to develop a software using engineering methods, system engineering methods or computer science engineering methods. Getting, guys? Why? And also, so there are some reasons why we have to develop the software using a professional standards. Why means large software. Today, the main reasons why we need to develop a software using a professional standard means whatever the software we are going to develop today are large. As the size of the software becomes large, engineering has to step to give it scientific process, obviously, right? As the size increases, we should have a way to develop it. How to develop that way means using some engineering methodologies. We have to come across that we have to come across with that methodology. Getting, guys? That's why we need software engineering, because today we are developing large softwares. Not only that, scalability. If the software process were not based on scientific and engineering concepts, it would be easier to recreate new software than to scale an existing one. Getting, guys? Scaling means what? First you should understand scalability. To explain this, assume that our software is capable of running in four systems. How many systems? Our software can handle the load of 4 systems. Assume that I want now my software to run on the 10 systems. Earlier I designed my software to run on 4 systems. But even after changing the load from 4 systems to 10 systems, your software should run without any problem. That is scalability. You extended its capacity. Even after that, your software should run. Scalability tells like that. Scalability tells like that. From 4 systems, I started to run using my software on 10 systems. You can ask a question, which one is easy? Whether it is easy to develop the software from scratch, or whether it is easy to scale it. So which one is easy means developing the new software is easy comparing to the scaling. It is not that easy to increase the capacity from 4 to 10. Instead of that, I can recreate the new software. To do that, we need a professional process. That's why software engineering is needed. Getting? Next, cost. Obviously, if you don't follow the proper procedure or a proper professional standards while developing the software, it may incur lot of cost. Getting, guys? To maintain a proper budget, to maintain a proper cost, you need a correct procedure. That's why you need software engineering. Yes, as hardware industry has shown its skills and huge manufacturing, right? Due to the advancement in hardware, the price of the computer and electronic hardware is reduced. Getting, guys? Nowadays, we can purchase the hardware very easily. Earlier days, memory was very costly. To purchase a 80 GB of space, it may cost thousands. But today, it is very less. Getting, guys? Hardware is advanced. At the same time, we have to develop the software according to the quality of the hardware also. The cost of the software, it remains high if we not adopt a proper process. Getting, guys? If we adopt a proper process, we can reduce the cost. That's why we need software engineering. Next, dynamic nature. What is this? always the requirements of the software may change. I told you. So the user, the customer may come across with lot of new requirements. For example, if you are developing a banking software, your competitor, if it's added some extra features, you have to add that extra feature also, otherwise your software will become outdated. That's why the requirements keeps on changing, continuously they are changing. The software will change, right? The software will change continuously. That's why we need a proper procedure. Getting, guys? To enhancements, to do the enhancements, to add the existing system with new requirements, it's not an easy job. I need a proper procedure. That's why I need software engineering, right? And lastly, quality management. Better process of software development provides better quality and software product. Obviously, if you are maintaining a professionalism for developing the software, obviously the quality of the software will be higher. Getting? So that's why, because of these reasons, I need a software engineering, right? So hope you understood the concepts. Suppose if you have any doubts, please post your doubts in the comment section. Thank you for watching the video.